Hey everybody, this is Jessica Lynn from Jessica Lynn Original Studios, and today I thought, you know what, I want to do something really happy and bright and just, I just want a really happy card. And so I went online and I found this bundle of, it was 8 pieces of clip art, and it's really pretty because it had some vintage looking signs, and it comes in all kinds of designs. And the one I picked was these flowers. Now I could download it as a PDF, etc. Quite a few different ideas. So what I thought I would do was start setting the card up digitally in Microsoft. I'm in Word right now. And what I did was I created this blue box to be the size of my finished card. Now what I'm going to do is actually take out, see how it's blue right now? I'm actually going to take out the color because I just want the outline. I want to make sure that I am creating the graphic, the digital image, the right size for my card. So watch what I'm going to do. We're just going to make a really light outline, and then we're going to fill it with white. So you can see there's just a very faint line. And what that's going to do is help me kind of prepare my card. If you are new to using digital stamps, this is a great way for you to kind of get an idea of perspective. The other thing too is you may want to make that light gray line maybe about 1/16 of an inch just larger than your card, because then you could actually use that as your base to build everything off of. So if you're going to print a bunch of digital images together, that would be a great way to do it. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to print this out. Now I did cut it apart. You can see I started playing around with some blue Oxide inks, but I think we're actually going to create a background that's more pinks and yellows. I want something brighter. The dark blue seemed just a little too dark for me. So I'm going to use Copic Markers to color this in. And let me just get this all centered so you can see it just a little bit better. There we go. And I'm going to color it in to look like a vintage sign. So I'm going to use shades of like peach and like a light brown and then a little darker brown because I really want to make this feel like a vintage sign that's been up for quite a while. Now I'm not going to make it distressed or anything like that, but I wanted to have that appearance. And I'm really excited because I am in the process, you've probably noticed already, changing graphics, changing designs. I'm trying to still figure out the best layout for my videos here on YouTube, but I'm really excited because I realized that I am a very multifaceted person. I have a lot of things that I do creative. I sew, I paint, I draw. I love to make cards. I love to craft. I love Halloween. I love Christmas. I love Disney. And then I realized that I at first had thought maybe I should divide it out into multiple channels on here on YouTube. And I realized, you know what? I can't. It's just, I want to be me. I want to be authentic. I want to share my creative side. So I decided that I'm putting it all here. I'm going to try and divide it out on the page so that, you can choose which videos you want to see. But I hope that you'll follow along on the adventure with us. And there is a subscribe down on the bottom right. There's a little red icon. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And what it will do is just tell you when there's a new video when you log on to YouTube. So it's not, unless you have the settings, where it'll email you. It'll just remind you when you log on to YouTube, hey, don't forget, we've got a new video. And it really means a lot. We have been really working on growing our subscriber base, and you guys have been so amazing. I've gotten such great emails, saying things are changing, what's going on. And, it's one of those that I decided I just need to kind of embrace who I am, what I am, and share a little of all of it. And I'm really excited for this change. I'm really excited for some of the new videos I've got coming, so I can't wait to share those with you. But don't forget to go ahead and subscribe. And while we're at it, go ahead and just like this video because it'll tell more people to come and take a look at my channel. And I really appreciate that. So with these markers, now these are the Cali Art markers. I've used them before. If you're new to card making, the Cali Art markers are a little less expensive than Copics. Now this one's a Copic, so I'm kind of intermixing. But they're a little less expensive, but they do color really well. And they're very bold, so if you want really bold colors, they're really beautiful for that. So you can see I went through and I got the base of this in, and now I'm going to come back in with some peaches and pinks and kind of do some shadowing, and I'm going to outline pieces of it because I really just want the sign to pop. And I think that with these extra colors in there, I think it will really help. So I'm kind of excited to see how this all looks. So let me just find a couple colors here. Here we go. There we go. Now I thought the roses, I just decided to go a light pink. Again, keeping it in that vintage, really pretty. And again, see, I'm going to kind of use, whenever I use a color like in the art, I'm going to shadow it in here just because it will go ahead and just sort of tie the whole sign together. And you can see I'm not doing it very bold. I'm keeping it more sketch-like. And I think that that will really help this sign sort of come together. And we're going to go ahead and cut this out. I'm just fussy cutting it. My brother's Scan and Cut is getting a full cleaning, so I will have that back soon, I hope. But again, it's not a big deal if you don't have die cuts or if you don't have any of that. I mean, obviously the die cuts make the edges absolutely perfect, but if you take your time, you can get it very, very close. And you know, it's not a race. It's, you know, it's definitely a marathon, so not a sprint. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out and then maybe trim it a little closer. One of the things I do like is just that really perfect little 1/16 or 1/4 of an inch edge of white around the image. I always think that looks so pretty. So we're going to get this all cut out, and then we're going to use some of the Distress Oxides and create our background. Alright, so we're going to use some of the Distress Oxides, and I love them. Amy got me addicted many years ago, and I know a lot of people, they might go, ugh, because I did, and I got scared, and I said, oh gosh, I don't want to screw these up, I don't get them, you know, I just, they look cool, but I'm afraid I don't understand this. Well, I'm just going to say this. Don't be afraid to try. They're easier than they look, and if you don't like it, you do it again. It's not a big deal. Now, one of the best suggestions I got was to always start on a sheet of paper and work your way onto the finished card with the Oxide inks. So you can see if I had too much, let's say on my brush, I could sort of blot it off before I went to the card. So we're just going to work our way through, add some light yellow. Then we're going to come back with that little darker yellow, and finally with the raspberry color. It's kind of a pink shade. So pretty. Now, as you can see, I'm so happy I started the pink off the page because my brush grabbed too much of it. And so if you look down in the bottom right corner, it could have been a hot pink mess. But luckily, I worked my way onto the page, and it really is gorgeous. And I love that the yellow and the pink are sort of melding together, and it's making the pink not so hot pink, but more of like a maroony orange. So cool. So once you've got it all set, let it dry, because that's the very important piece of this. When I first started, I would just go ahead and put it together. Not a good thing, don't do that. So let it dry a little bit, and then let's assemble the card. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add some foam risers to this. One of the things that I really enjoyed was that I went through and did that electronic layout, if you will, in the Word document. Now what that did is it really gave me an idea and kind of a map as to where I was going to go with this card. In other videos I've done before, I have added where I've sketched out, like you get a set of stamps and you sketch out 5 or 6 designs and then try to build those. And I always think that starting with something like that helps a lot, because it really does get you on the right path. So now that I have the foam risers all on there, we're going to go ahead and center this, because if you remember, I printed this image out large enough that it's going to take over a majority of the card. So the fun part of this card was really creating that Distress Oxide background, and then coloring in this to look like a vintage sign, which I think looks so cool. Don't forget to sign the back of your cards, so important. It's your time that you took and your creative energy and ideas, so I always make sure I sign the back of my cards. Plus, in the future when I give them out to people, it's so nice because they're like, oh, you made that card, you know. So anyway, I actually love how this finished up. I'd love to hear from you. Again, we are going to say, don't forget to visit our website. I love being able to create stamps and images. If you feel inspired to go do this, head out to my website. We have digital downloads. You can start right away. I also ask, please go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We're shooting for 5,000 by the end of this year. And don't forget to like and comment this video. Take care, everybody.